Hello, and welcome to the Poe-Cast. I'm Christopher.
And I'm Jonathan.
And today we're going to be talking a little bit about cosplay, which is going to be a big focus of our fall semesters, and a little bit of the spring semester as well, because we are planning on going to Comic-Con 2015. The theme is indie.
Yes.
So that'll be fun, because there's going to be a lot of stuff about doing it yourself, which basically is what a lot of cosplay is about.
Yes. It is.
Yeah, and that's in March, so we don't have a lot of time because it's just about the beginning of September right now. So even though that sounds like a
long
5,
time.
6, 7 months.
Yeah, we both have school.
We both have school. We both have lots of other commitments.
Yes.
So yeah, we are trying to get a jump start on having at least some costume ready to go for March. There's kind of this discussion about what's the difference between cosplaying and costuming, and how much do they overlap, and how much are they different? And I don't know, what's your take on that?
I think cosplaying is more of a, role-playing sort of. You are taking on the role of a character. Whether it's a character that you made up, a character that is extremely mainstream and extremely popular, such as Link, or
Link from The Legend of Zelda.
Or you see a lot of Ash cosplayers from Pokemon.
Ash from Pokemon.
He's a pretty popular
cosplayer.
cosplayer.
Or even, at least for me, lesser known characters like from Attack on Titan. Comic-Con is a very anime and Japanese based, which I love the Japanese side of it, but not so much the anime side of it. Though if I see a Totoro cosplayer, I will just explode, because Totoro is wonderful.
Totoro, yes. He is adorable.
Yes, he is.
Check out Markiplier's My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh my goodness, that was
Oculus
amazing! Rift. I want that now.
Yes, that
I want
Oculus
that now.
Rift game, that looks totally beautiful and just really submersive. Yeah. I want to play one of those so much.
An Oculus Rift? Absolutely.
Yes.
So we're kind of straying from the subject.
Yeah.
I am not so sure that, in a very technical sense of the term, that I would describe myself as a cosplayer. Because even when I wear a costume, I don't tend to try to do the accent or do the or pretend to be the character. And a lot of the times, at least the people I've seen, they aren't quite as acting side of it as they are just simply wearing the clothing of the people that they love. But when you go to cons, they're still going to call it cosplaying. So there's different levels of, the acting. Because, what do you do if, you're, say Luke Skywalker, you're a rebel trooper, and you're walking through and you come to a horde of 501st, do you all of a sudden break out a firefight in the middle of the convention area? I mean, is that really to the etiquette of that?
That's not really acceptable.
Right, it's not, there's not really acceptable. So you have to, keep this in mind when you're cosplaying. It's like, how in-depth of the character are you going to get? Are you potentially going to insult somebody because you're playing a character like, say, Severus Snape? I know you all love Severus Snape, but he insults Harry Potter quite badly. He treats him quite badly.
I think everyone at cons would take it pretty lightheartedly.
Yeah, probably.
They would think it was funny.
Yeah.
Or at least everyone that I have met at cons would think that would be funny.
Yeah. I've always worn costumes. I've always tried to make costumes. I actually think I really got into cosplaying in terms of going to cons because of the SCA. I joined the Society for Creative Anachronism, which is basically medieval cosplaying. It's medieval role-playing, medieval reenactment. And I'm a herald, and I'm working on getting some very authentic historical period heralds' clothing, what they would have actually worn, of course, were the modern Middle Ages, not the actual historical Middle Ages. So there's 14, 15, 16 kingdoms, which are completely modern and don't have anything to do with the historical ones. But you actually can see the sort of role-playing, because Callantyr is very Anglo-Saxon.
Yes.
Like some of their early traditions, they have like this oath stone, which sometimes gets brought out. I saw it at a, I think it was raising of I think it was a pelican, not a laurel, but it might have been a laurel. But there are all kinds of ceremonies in the SCA. But we're kind of drifting away from cosplay. So you talk a little bit about what you enjoy about cosplay.
What I really enjoy about cosplaying is assuming the role of a different character and getting to be that character for a little while, and also just hanging out with friends who also like cosplaying because they're all really great people.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed going to Comic-Con. That was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it again this year. Other things I enjoy about cosplaying. I just enjoy wearing unusual clothing.
So what are some of the costumes that you have made already, and what ones are you planning on making?
Well, I am currently working on both a post-apocalyptic cosplay, which is pretty easy because you just have to take clothes that you have and then tear them up. And I'm also working on an Ezio Auditore costume from Brotherhood, which is not so easy.
Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yes, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I'm just used to calling it Brotherhood because everyone in our cosplay group totally knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Ezio Auditore is not such an easy costume to do because there are so many elements of his costume, and it's just the little things that really make the costume what it is.
Lots and lots of layers.
Yes,
And
layers, details.
Yeah, this is something that we've kind of reached the point in time where I think a lot of cosplayers have to make this decision. Do you go for
Time or
time,
quality.
money, or quality?
Yes.
And we basically, because with the Assassin's Creed costumes, because I'm also making an Assassin's Creed costume. I'm making Giovanni Auditore da Firenze, Ezio's father.
Yes.
Pictures. Pictures. You see Giovanni in Assassin's Creed 2, but you really, really see him in the short film Assassin's Creed Lineage, which actually is what got me. He's gonna show the
Assassin's
Blu-ray.
Creed Lineage.
Yeah. This is what got me into Assassin's Creed, because this was very good. And I'm kind of actually sad that they didn't quite lead in from the movie into Assassin's Creed 2, because, spoiler alert, the movie ends with Giovanni actually on the run from, or apparently on the run from the guards.
Yes, it does.
But Assassin's Creed 2 begins with Ezio's all, having fun, and Giovanni's there in the house and is talking to Barbaggio, and it seems that everything's okay, and then all of a sudden they're on the scaffold. It doesn't have this sense of he just escaped the house moments before the guards burst in, which I wish there was that one to the other. But the quality of the movie was so good.
Yes,
the
it was a very
costume
good
looks
movie.
Amazing.
Yes, some of the miners' costumes, or what do you call those? The bit roll.
The bit rolls, the extras.
Yeah, some of the extras' costumes aren't quite as good. Like, some of the guards are wearing just knitted cowls for their mail armor, but I only noticed
really
that
notice
because I make that stuff.
As I was saying, we have to decide, what parts of the costume we're going to do. What of the metal are we actually going to try to do? Because something that at least I am kind of particular about is it being really high quality.
Yeah.
It actually looking like real clothing. So I don't use cheap fabric. I use very expensive natural fibers. I really don't like using polyester. I like using cottons, linens. Haven't quite gotten to making myself a silk kimono yet, but maybe. I'm going to make one in linen first. But that's the thing that we need to decide is what amount of our time and money are we going to put to doing, the leather bits, because Giovanni has, like, as an Ezio in Assassin's Creed 2, has this big leather pauldron.
Yes. Well, he does have some leather armor in Brotherhood. It's just not like the cover art.
Right, it's
armor.
not the cover art armor. And that's the thing. How much money and time are we going to put into actually doing the leather when we could, maybe a stripped down version, actually make the fabric very, very high quality, but you wouldn't have, the belts with all the metal and the pauldrons and the actual, bracers.
Yeah.
You might have to leave some pieces of those out while making the rest of it very high quality, and over the years build up to that, because our skills in metalwork, our skills in leatherworking are not to that level.
Why?
And, I'm sure we could pay someone to do that, but then how much more money would that cost? List a couple other the costumes that you have made already, and then I'll do the same, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay, well, I have made a just generic sort of medieval knight, basically a green and white cyclist, because I really like those two colors. And then I made a male shirt, which I also wear with it, which is a lot of fun. And probably my best known cosplays are Flynn Rider, and later on I have done his Frozen cameo.
Yes, you did do his Frozen cameo outfit.
Yes. And the few people that have actually recognized that, I have been happy to have met.
Did you wear it to Comic-Con?
I did.
Oh, I didn't know you had it finished by then.
Yes.
I mean,
like
my
two
sense of time has been
people
pushed.
recognized it.
Okay. Costumes that I've made some medieval garb, and I'm working on some more period garb. It's not something that I myself have sewn, but I have cosplayed as the 10th Doctor before.
Yes.
And apparently I have his walk and some of his mannerisms down. Costumes that I'm working on: Giovanni Auditore da Firenze from Assassin's Creed Lineage. I'm also working on, as well as medieval 14th century French historical clothing. I'm also working on making a couple of just simple yukata kimono outfits. Because I really like Japanese, and there's lots of Japanese presence at Comic-Con, so I think that'll fit quite nicely. And maybe even Jonathan will get in on making a kimono.
I do eventually want to make a kimono, just I'm not sure if I'm really prepared to do that right now.
Well, I have the pattern, and I'm going to be making
good.
one. So, but that's all the time for this week. So for the Poe-Cast, I'm Christopher.
And I'm Jonathan.
And I'm calling that done. Thank you for listening, watching. Comment in the doobly-doo.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.